This is going to be your guide to breeding in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So the mechanics have changed, but some things will stay the same. We need to get ourselves a Ditto. So the way that some Pokemon spawn in this game is pretty nifty. Ditto will disguise itself as other Pokemon in the overworld, but if you press ZL, you can actually see if the Pokemon is an imposter or not. Also, Zorua is found in this area. And here are the areas where you can find Ditto. Go get him, champ. Now, breeding works differently in this game. Instead of going to a daycare, you just set up a picnic, and if you have compatible Pokemon, you can find eggs in this basket. So there's different reports as to the different amount of times that eggs will spawn in the basket. What you want to do is make a sandwich that has egg power. You can find a lot of sandwiches to purchase in towns that have this, but you can also just quickly make a sandwich with banana and peanut butter. Sounds tasty. And now we wait. That's right, you don't have to do anything. You can just chill, and eggs will go in that basket. Also, the eggs stack, and when you collect them, they go to the PC box. Now, I've been seeing conflicting reports about the rate at which you get eggs, but it really seems like if you run around, you just get eggs faster. I throw the ball out there because maybe if the Pokemon's asleep, they breed slower or something, or it's about doing picnic activities. If I set it up, run around for a bit, you hold up, you hold left or right, you run around the picnic table, it's that easy. He's having a good time, and then you can go and collect your eggs. But you can also just do nothing and get eggs. So you can AFK, make a sandwich, stay hydrated, play other games, like this video, leave a comment, share it with your friends. While you're doing any of those things, you can actually just be breeding. It's pretty cool. Also, contrary to popular belief, Overworld Abilities still work in this game, so you can have Flame Body or Steam Engine. You should have ran into a Roly-Coly or Fletchinder at some point in the early game. They're everywhere, very easy to find, very easy to get. And it seems like it's also a lot faster, because you hop on Caradon, you go super fast, and then you just run around, and it's a lot faster to hatch the eggs. So the quality of life kind of like gives and takes. Might be awkward to get the eggs, but you just run around for a short amount of time, and then the Pokemon will start hatching. And an egg will hatch, just like that. Now I am curious as to how many more steps it takes after you hatch the first egg, since we pretty much got all those at the same time. The answer? Not very many. Now, those are the breeding basics in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but it leads to the question of why should you breed? And I think the biggest answer is going to be for shiny hunting, because the Masuda method gives you 5 extra shiny rolls. Now, it says 6 right here, but egg shiny rates are the same as Sword and Shield, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. There is a quirk in the game where if any bonus is available while breeding, 1 shiny roll is lost. So these are the numbers. So nothing is going to be 1 in 4,000. The base shiny rate, Shiny Charm adds 1 roll, so 1 in 2,000. Masuda method by itself drops the odds all the way down to 1 in 700 eggs, and they can bring that down to almost 1 in 500 with the Shiny Charm plus Masuda method. Now you might be thinking, what's the Masuda method? How do I gain access to such power in the game? Well, you just need to have a Pokemon from a different language game. So ideally you want something like a Japanese Ditto, but it doesn't even have to be Japanese, just any foreign different language Ditto. Now, the power of the internet makes it really easy to get such Pokemon, but if you're obtaining it from complete strangers, be wary. If it has 6 IVs, 100% hacked, throw it away, it's cheating. Like, at that point, why are you trying to breed or shiny hunt or get legitimate Pokemon if you're just cheating and using hacked Pokemon? Doesn't make sense. And even a 5 IV Ditto is going to be really sketchy and hacked unless you catch it yourself. And it kind of shows that IV Dittos are not as needed in this generation, mostly because hyper training is level 50, and if you're doing Terra raids or just kind of playing the game, it's going to be really easy to get enough candies to just pop a Pokemon to level 50 really quick, a couple of Blissey battles as well, and then you can buy bottle caps. So it only costs 20,000 Pokédollars per stat that doesn't have best IVs, and no, you cannot use a bottle cap to hyper-train Pokemon and then breed it. If it says hyper-trained on the stats, those stats will never pass down, and you can also buy an Everstone here, so all the old breeding mechanics still hold up. You can give an IV Pokemon a Destiny Knot, or any of the Pokemon you're breeding a Destiny Knot, and then that's going to transfer 5 of the IVs between them. And it also kind of shows that breeding isn't only about getting a Ditto or a good IV Ditto, it's about participating in raids and participating in other parts of the game. 5-star raids will have Pokemon with 4 max IVs, so you can just go out there, catch one of these, give it a Destiny Knot, breed it with a Ditto, and there's a good chance you can actually transfer some of these IVs into the offspring Pokemon if you want to get multiple competitive Pokemon. 6-star raids will have 5 guaranteed IVs, and there's even a small chance you can just get a natural roll on the other stat, and then you have a 6 IV Pokemon. Also, Overworld Terra Pokemon have 3 guaranteed IVs, so you can catch one, time skip, catch again, and so on until you can actually breed them together and eventually end up with a 5 IV offspring Pokemon. Now what you want to do is get males of different egg groups. We need to talk about egg groups, don't we? So if you're not breeding with a Ditto, both parent Pokemon will need to be from the same egg group, and some Pokemon can have multiple egg groups. There's a handy dandy chart from the data mine where you can see all of the Pokemon. Some of them are just in one egg group, some are in multiple egg groups. Now what this means is you can theoretically chain different egg group lineages until you eventually have 6 IV male Pokemon for all the egg groups, and it's like having a 6 IV Ditto because the female Pokemon is always what results in the offspring, but a male Pokemon can breed with anything from the egg group. Here's an example from fellow goated PokeTuber Nerth, who did this for Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. This is for Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, not Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, I haven't done the work to make a chart like this for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because I don't find it to be super necessary, but it is something you can do and work on, or it's just something to pay attention to. Because of all the crazy raids you're doing, if you get a male Pokemon from a certain egg group and you have a ton of IVs on it, well, you can actually start a breeding chain with that. Again, if you can't find the Dittos. And Ditto can appear in 5 and 6-star raids. So that means a 6-star raid Ditto will have 5 IVs, but these raids are incredibly rare. Now, I did a guide on raiding, so you can kind of like clear out the 5 IV raids in your game, and then you just time skip. Go ahead a day, it's going to refresh all the raids in your game. Then you can look for a Ditto that way. But because they are very rare, that's why you should still be dubious of anyone just handing you a 5 or 6 IV Ditto. And because of raids and hyper training being so accessible, I feel like you don't have to worry about breeding for IVs as much in the past. But there's still something very useful that comes from breeding, and that is inheriting hidden abilities. Now, you can get hidden abilities from raids, but what if you want more of a species of Pokemon, like Eevee? Eevee, you can get all kinds of different Eevees, so if I want a hidden ability, that's a lot of ability patches to use on Jolteon, Vaporeon, other Pokemon like that, when all I have to do is breed it with a Ditto. Now, if we have a female with a hidden ability, it has a 60% chance of passing that hidden ability down. If it's a male Pokemon, it will need to breed with a Ditto to pass that hidden ability down. Now, this is just a regular Ditto because we just caught it, so the IVs of the offspring won't be good, but we're going to have the chance of passing down a hidden ability, and then we can use that for other competitive Pokemon. And then I have a competitive training guide, so you just level it up, you put some bottle caps in it, and boom. Competitive Pokemon regardless. So it is one of those things that I guess you just play the game until you stumble into either enough raids to have like a good breeding chain. So maybe after just playing the game forever, you end up with 1 or 2 5-star Ditto raids, or you get super lucky for a 6-star raid. But even then, like if you just get a rando Pokemon, this Eevee came from 3-star raid, so it only has 2 IVs, it's going to take a lot of breeding to get a decent IV Eevee that also has the hidden ability. It just seems like hyper training's too good, but you still want to use this for passing down hidden abilities. That's the best part of breeding. Now, even though hyper training makes it to where you can't breed down the stats, the ability patch will breed down hidden abilities. So I made my Quaquaval have Moxie. This is my starter Pokemon. I bred it, and now we have a Moxie Quaxly. So hidden abilities for the starters unlocked. And the last thing to talk about are egg moves. So even though breeding has taken a backseat and a lot of Pokemon movesets have kind of been standardized, there's still egg moves in the game. So this works the same, that if you have parent Pokemon with an egg move, it'll breed into the offspring. But the mechanic from Pokemon Sword and Shield is in as well, with a twist. If you have a Pokemon hold a Mirror Herb, which you can buy in the Water Gym Town Delibird Presence, and that Pokemon is also missing a move slot, so the way you do that is like you change moves and then you have a forget a move right here. It will inherit and take on the egg moves of any Pokemon in that picnic, provided it's in the egg move list for that Pokemon. So you don't have to rebreed, you don't even need the same species anymore like with Pokemon Sword and Shield, you just need a Mirror Herb and then you can transfer egg moves that way, which is pretty crazy. Now, personally for me, I don't know if I'm going to be doing much breeding this generation. I know I'm like the competitive breeding guy, but I just did that to get easy competitive Pokemon. Now, I just like the Terra rating gameplay loop more. It's always annoying to like get your Dittos set up. Once Pokemon Home becomes available, you can just home in your legit Dittos, right? The one you caught yourself in Pokemon Let's Go. or from the breeding Ditto event in early Pokemon Sword and Shield, right? Once you bring in your 6IV Ditto when Pokemon Home becomes available in spring 2023, then there might be more to the breeding, but also by then you've probably done like 1,000 Terra raids, so you'll have more resources and access to competitive Pokemon than you ever thought possible. I don't know. So I'm probably just going to use it for like hidden abilities, maybe for like trading for Pokemon I want. Like, I've got a Moxie Quaxley. You guys in the comment section are already fighting over it, and I have no intention of trading because I'm just too lazy. But if I really need a Pokemon and I already have like some breeding potential with hidden abilities, I could probably trade for that and then be set up pretty well. Or you just keep on doing raids and then you can get hidden abilities that way. I don't know. I'm having fun with raids. This video wasn't that fun to make. You might be able to tell in my voice. Also, I'm just tired. It all comes together though. So interesting, useful, always tedious to set up. Not as natural of a gameplay loop as raiding and earning money and gaining experience like we've already seen with my competitive guide for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but definitely viable. And once you get a foreign Ditto, this is going to be like the ultimate way of shiny hunting and getting shiny starters. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.